So what is method overriding? If a subclass has the same method that is already declared in the parent class, you have this method. Then child class also you're going to write the same method, but logic is going to be different. Remaining everything, the structure, everything, parameters. How many parameters are there in the parent class? Same number of parameters must be present in the child class also. Only the method body inside whatever you write, that is called logic, right? That logic is going to be different. Sir, why you want to develop this one? So the reason behind that is you want to improve the parent class method more. So you don't want to disturb that parent class method, and you want to write your own logic for the same method. That's your overriding that logic with your own logic. So that is called method overriding. So method overriding, subclass provides the specific implementation of the method that is already provided by its parent class. So that is called method overriding. So how can you achieve, what is the usage of this method overriding? So mainly use it to provide your own logic. So for in the child class. So when you call that class object, you will get only child class logic, not parent class logic. But you have to apply inheritance. These are the rules. You must follow the rules. Method must have same name as in the parent class. Method must have same parameter as in the parent class. Method name must be same. Method parameters should be same. And you have to apply inheritance between the both classes. You must apply inheritance. Subclass extends parent class. And child class, so implementation should be different. So parent class logic and child class logic should be different. So that these are the rules you must follow that. Again, there is a scope also. For example, parent class method scope is public. You cannot reduce the scope higher to lower in the child class when you're writing a method. Same. So, for example, you have declared protected in the parent, but you can declare protected or no. So, public. You can give more, but not less than that permissions. So protected above, more scope is for public only. That you can use. So runtime polymorphism means runtime polymorphism or a dynamic method dispatch. It's a process in which a call to overridden method is resolved at runtime rather than at compile time. That is called runtime polymorphism or dynamic method dispatch. So here overridden method is called through the reference variable of superclass. So this is the one. So that is also called upcasting. So when parent class reference variable pointing to child class object, that is also called upcasting and also called runtime polymer. This is the one. See, parent class, that reference variable is pointing to a child class object. So this variable type is a parent type. That variable pointing to child class object. So this is called runtime polymorphism or upcasting, we call this. So upcasting means, so when reference variable of parent class refers to the object of child class is known as a upcasting. Can we override the static method? No. So static methods cannot be overridden. It can be proved by runtime polymorphism. It can be proved by runtime polymorphism. So why we cannot override the static methods? Because static method is bound with a class, whereas instance method is bound with object. So static belongs to class area, instance method belongs to heap area. So that's why you cannot override the static methods. Static methods will be loaded before runtime only. So that's why you cannot override static methods. Can we override Java main method? No, because that's a static method. That's why you cannot override. Can you override private method? No, because private methods are not accessible in another class. So private methods are not accessible in another class. How can you stop overriding the methods? So by making private, static, final, you cannot override private methods, final methods, and static methods. If you use these three keywords, you cannot override them. So example is, for example, so rate of interest, get rate of interest method is there. So which is going to return the rate of interest from the bank. So R by A is the superclass for, so it returns a 7% rate of interest. Remaining SBI, Axis Bank, ICICI banks, they return the different rates. So 7.5, 8, 8.5 like that. So that is a method overriding. See, same method you're overriding in these classes. So that you won't get a parent class as 7. So every bank has their own rate of interest. So that is the method you are overriding parent class method logic. Another important question. What is the difference between method overloading, method overriding? Method overloading and method overriding. So method overloading is a class can contain multiple methods with the same name but different parameters. That is called method overriding. Overloading. Method overriding means, so a child class has the same method that is implemented already in the parent class. So you're going to implement a specific implementation in the child class method. That is called method overriding. So method overloading is performed within the class. In the same class, you can perform. Method overriding will be performed between the two classes. So you must apply the inheritance. And method overloading is an example for compile time polymorphism. Method overriding is an example for runtime polymorphism. And parameters must be different in the method overloading, and parameters must be same in the method overriding. So method overloading is the example for compile time. Already we discussed at this point, right? And this one is a runtime polymorphism. Method overriding is a runtime polymorphism. Method overloading can't be performed by changing the return type of the method. So return type must be same or covariant in the method overriding. Whatever the return type you declared in the parent class, it should be same here also. That is the method overriding and overloading difference. This is one of the very important interview question. Okay, so let's go and practice the programs on this. Okay. So where is our project? So I think we can start using the IntelliJ also. I'll show you that IntelliJ so that you can get some idea. Maybe after this one, I'll show you that. Okay. Java we can write. So I'll create a new class. So this is the parent, okay? So this here you can create a public constructor. So default constructor. So you can declare whatever you want. For example, uh, public string color. So you can put any color. If you want, you can declare the some color, whatever you want. Okay. So public void eat. So in class eat method. So different animals will eat different type of food. So protected void make sound. Okay. And some more methods I'll develop void play. Okay, so these are the some of the, see, I declared the instance variable, one constructor, and few more methods, right? So now I'll create a dog class. Dog is an so animal, right? So dog is an animal. I'll declare a child class, but I'm going to declare inheritance extends animal so that we can implement that. So parent class methods here. So which method you want to implement? I will override public. So void eat method. You can write here. So at the rate override. Okay, so that's it. So it tells dog class eat method. So dog eats pedigree. Okay. And so if you whichever the method you want, you can override. So whichever the method you want, you can override. So I can write few more this class methods. So void even so barking also make sound, right? I'll do that. At the rate override public. So void make sound. So dog class make sound. Dogs will bark. So okay. And you can write your own methods also. For example, normal methods. I'll write protected void play. Play we already took, right? I'll say tailing. Sleeping. Let's put sleeping. So dog is eating. See that's the how you are going to override. See, this method and this method is overridden. So this is the overriding concept. How we can do this. Okay. Now, so this is the all about dog class. So now you can see if you create object for animal class, animal a equal to new animal. Already I have shown you this in the inheritance. You can call only with this a object. You can call only parent class methods, not this child class methods. So that's the problem. Okay, so you have to parent class object reference, which is pointing to child class object, not so same class object. So this is called so runtime polymorphism or method over upcasting, right? Upcasting we call this. Now see with this A, you can access all the methods. So eat method. If we call eat method what? So what logic you will get? This logic you will get. That means this eat method overridden in the parent class and this method logic will be called. And a dot sleeping. So another thing. So you cannot call, Sleepy is not there, you can see. You cannot call parent class variable with child class object. You cannot call the methods which is not overridden. So you can call the parent class methods. So you can call what is that? Play method, right? See, play method is coming from animal class, but this method is not showing. So that means with this process, you can call only overridden methods, not the normal methods. So if you want to call that, you have to create a full object with a child class only. See that? See, automatically you're getting dog class eat method and there is a constructor. This is the play method. So that means it is, so you are not getting this logic. See that? You are not getting this logic, right? You are not getting that sound, that these methods. Different sounds. So that is the how you can override the parent and child classes. That is called method overriding. So that's all about polymorphism. And we have a small things. We'll discuss one by one. First, a final keyword. Then we have this keyword, super keyword. Very important. This and final keyword. These are the keywords we should know very well. So let's call them. So how can we, suppose if we want to call this, in this, how can you call? You can call directly a dot color, because until unless you don't have the dog class also has the same property. For example, here you have a same property, even dog class also. But this one is brown. So this variable belongs to this one only, but this one is global. So you can use in multiple classes, which are extending to this animal class. So you can call so color. So when you call color, this dot color will call. This means current class. This means current class objects. Okay. Now let me call this. So that case, if you want to call that class, so variable color value is, I'll just call this variable, okay? I'll just calling color. So it is directly cannot call, right? You have to use a dot. So it's instance variable. So instance variable always refer with object. See, white it is calling, not this one. Why? Because did I save it? It should call this one, right? Because okay, we are using this parent class objects only will be called overriding. You get a brown. Unresolved compilation error. calling from the parent class. You want to call this, so you need to call. So somewhere here, so that is a different, I'll show you that in the next class. So because you can call if two variables are same in the parent and child classes, how can we call? So you need to use this and super keyword. Let's go and discuss that. This and super keywords. So let's set here. You have a search option. Yeah. So first final keyword, let's discuss about final keyword. So what is a final? Final is a non-access modifier keyword, which is used to create class, method, and variable. These three you can create with a final keyword in the class. And final variable cannot be changed. You can declare a final variable, no issue. But once you assign the value, you cannot change that value. And you can create a final method. You can create a final class. Generally, final variables cannot be initialized. So you have to initialize the variables. Without initializing, you cannot use them. Okay. That's a final variable. When you declare a variable as a final, so we cannot change the value of final variable. We cannot change the value of final variable. And final method. Final method cannot be overridden. Final class. Final class cannot be inherited. That means it extends. You cannot extend final class to child classes. So that's the theoretical part. So let's go and see properly this final keyword advantages. So if you create a class, you can see here, there is an option of final. Select the final and create a class name. So what class name you can give, it's up to you. Okay, so let's give this loan type. So this is the final class I am creating. So final class is done. Final variable I am showing. loan type equal to, you have to scroll. Loan type equal to home. And the method I'm going to create, final method. So public final string get loan type. See now so I will show you. Okay, you declared a variable as a final, right? If you declare a variable as a final, you cannot change this value. So here your variable is a final variable. So this value cannot be changed. If you try to modify, what will happen?